Hey everybody, here we go with the big checkup for the year. So it's the Whangarei 2023 year in review and also the 2024 property predictions for what's going to go on. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer video than normal, but that's okay. Let's make a start, eh? We will go over the 2023 year to start with. So it was a bit of a roller coaster year, a little bit up and down, kind of like the weather at the moment. We've had thunderstorms, heavy rain, beautiful sunshine, 27 degrees. We've had it all, which is pretty much the same in the property market as well. So there are a few things that have been trends, not just in Whangarei but countrywide, but this video will focus mostly on the local market for us, which is Whangarei. So how can we sum that up? We can sum it up with high interest rates, political headwinds, and less sales than normal. So for the region, we've had about 1,200 sales this year. Normally we'd expect to see about 1,600, so that's down about 25%. Median sale price down about 7% as well, but it always depends. I mean, you don't always want to sell your house and make the most amount of money. There's other motivations, there's other reasons for selling. So, and if you've held your property for several years, you're still relatively speaking doing okay. So if you the sale price for this year, the median compared to 3 years ago, we're still up 25%, and when you blow that out to 5 years, we're up 52%. So time in the market always beats trying to time the market, which is an interesting little thing to leave you with. What else has happened this year? So it's kind of been really a micro market. So people ask, how's the market? It really does depend. I mean, you can read the paper and you can read the headlines and things like that, but it depends if you're buying or selling, and it really even depends on where you live. So example of that this year is Kamo. On average, the median sale price is down, just checking my notes, I get it right for you guys. Kamo is down 9% year on year, median price. And a neighbouring suburb right next door in Fell Valley is up 8%. So, you know, the region as a whole down 7%, but certain areas are performing pretty well. And that goes down to the same thing again. If you are getting ready to sell, if you've got the best presented house and it's the best house in the best street, you're gonna get a great result. But also what buyers are looking for, they've got a little bit of time. They've had time this year to study their options before making a buying choice. And I think what the big thing is if the property presents as good value for money, then you'll sell well. And another example of the micro markets is even a street. So we had a couple of sales in Tui Crescent in Manu recently, and within a week there was a gap of nearly $300,000 between two houses. So it just goes to show, if you do the work, you're getting ready to sell, you present your house as best as it possibly can be, and you don't give buyers a reason to doubt the value for money, doubt the price that you're wanting, things are going to happen for you. So that's kind of 2023 summed up, really, case by case basis with a few overlying trends. Now on to 2024, what can we expect? According to all of the published information, and just should have put a caveat at the start, but I'll do it now. So I'm not a financial advisor, so I recommend first and foremost seek advice from your registered financial advisor, be your broker or your bank, before making any purchasing decisions. But I will be talking about broad strokes of the interest rates and things like that. So yeah, look, people are predicting house prices are set to rise a little bit, anywhere from the Reserve Bank to all of the big five banks. We've got a spread there of anywhere from 1.6% to 7.7%. So most people agree that there's going to be a rise in house prices. What's driving that? A big part of that is actually migration. So there's been over 160,000 people come into New Zealand in the last 12 months, and there's been 45,000 leave. So that's a difference of about 120,000 people. So it's the same old thing, isn't it? Supply and demand. So where are those 120,000 people going to live? And most of them end up, to be fair, in the big cities. So Auckland, Wellington or Christchurch. but we might see a flow-on effect. Look, people have talking about the migration, so if you've been working in the UK and you've been earning well over there in pounds and you're coming back to New Zealand, your money's probably going to go a bit further. So let's just chuck some big numbers out there, shall we? So, you know, say you're coming to move back to Auckland, you're looking at a central suburb, that $3.5 million villa, relatively speaking to you, looks like a bargain. The locals are maybe thinking it's worth only about $3 million. You're happy to pay the 3.5 because it's value for money for you, and it makes sense. The person that owned that house is sold up. He's got $3.5 million. He's coming up north because they want to be closer to the beaches and their batch and everything. They can shop around in Whangarei and buy some really high-end stuff. And same again, we might have a property priced at 1.8 million. Locals are thinking it's a little bit over what they'd pay. They don't see the value for money at that level. But someone with $3.5 million in their bank coming from Auckland sees 1.8 million as a bargain. And that's what's going to be probably bumping up the local market a little bit, is the migration coming from overseas and then spreading out around the country, and we might benefit from that a little bit as well. So we may get a flow on from that, yeah. Let's talk about my take, focusing on Whangarei. I think we'll see a more steady market overall. I don't expect big highs and big lows coming in the next 12 months. I think it's just overall, people that I talk to seem to be pretty optimistic. A lot of people are making some firm plans. There's going to be movement in the market, and I think we're just going to see the dust settle from the last 12 to 18 months and a little bit steady as she goes. Interest rates, people are talking they're going to come down a little bit, but then you've got the house prices going up a little bit, so your actual cost, your weekly expenses on your mortgage and things probably aren't going to change that much. Money might get a little bit cheaper to borrow, but then if house prices do bump up a little bit, it's gonna wash itself out and even itself out pretty much. So, you know, the same old saying, isn't it? The best time to buy was yesterday, the next best time is today, because tomorrow, who knows? And what else am I going to cover off here real quick? So, yeah, buyers will continue to be a little bit cautious, just because they've got choice and they can continue to take their time. It's not a superheated market at the moment. So it's really important, if you are selling, to make sure you're the best presented property of the choices they've got. That includes preparing with the paperwork up front and also appearing to be the best value for money of the other choices. What else? You know, getting here. No one's talked about it majorly yet, but I think the closure of the Bream Bay coming on the back of Cyclone Gabrielle last year is going to see a little bit of an effect for us, for the retail sector, for the tourism sector. You know, if it's an extra half an hour to 45 minutes to get up here, to get up north, you might drive as far as Whangarei and go, you know what, that's far enough for us, we're just going to holiday there. And even coming up to check out private properties or open homes, if it's taking you that extra 30 to 45 minutes, the experience overall for the day of coming up to view a property is less than ideal. And I've got a little feeling that might affect some of the sales, and we might just be a little bit slower than we'd otherwise expect. But in saying that, there's holiday makers up here at the moment. We've got a great property available out at Whangarei Heads, and we're getting a lot of attention on that. So it's the same old thing, property by property. If it's a must-have, that you're going to make the extra 45-minute trip, no problem, because it's property that you really want. But just to be aware, I think that's something that's going to come up. Interest rates, look, possible slight drop, but pretty still relatively high compared to what we've seen in the last couple of years. But overall, it's about right. You know, for me, I'm cautiously optimistic about 2024. You know, I think it's going to be a little bit more stable than what we've seen in the last 12 to 18 months, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If people, you know, the uncertainty in the market creates a little bit of panic and also creates a little bit of a delay in someone making a decision. If they know that for the next 12 months or so, it's going to be sort of steady as she goes, you can plan around that and make a better decision overall. So yeah, look, I'm looking forward to 2024 on a personal level. Got some great properties available now, got some great properties coming up, and I'm being fortunate enough to work with people that pretty much have the best house and the best street across the board. So yeah, I'll leave it there. It's a video that does tend to take on a little bit because we're doing a recap and a prediction for 2024. But anyway, that's my take on it. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say, so you can always get in touch with me, leave a comment below, and I look forward to doing business with you in 2024 if you're selling or buying up here in Whangarei. Cheers, you guys.